Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and today is an exciting day because I just purchased this beautiful 8-plex property in northern Colorado. So we'll go over what I paid for it, what my plans are for it, what the current rents are, and show you one unit that's vacant to show you what kind of shape this property is in for me to be able to pay the price that I did for it. I'm sure some of you will still think the price I paid is insane, but Colorado real estate is pretty expensive, and even properties like this that need just a little bit of love are very, very expensive, and actually getting this deal is very hard to do now, even in today's environment. With just, even though interest rates are high, prices of multifamily haven't really come down much. Maybe a touch, but not very much. So I paid $595,000 for this property from the MLS. It was listed for, I believe, $650 something. They lowered it to $627. At that point, I started to get interested in it because it does have 8 units, and that's incredibly cheap for 8 units around here. So I made an offer, I think, of about $575. There's a pile of ants I just stepped in. Luckily, I have shoes on. And I think I made an offer like $575. We countered, ended up at $595. So why would I pay so much for a property that, as you will see, needs a lot of work and basically makes no money? Well, it could be worth over $1 million once we're done with it, fix it up, and make it much more livable. Because even though 7 of these units are occupied, I mean, if we're going by Aurora's definition, where we had the Venezuelan gangs and all kinds of different stuff going on down there, this property would be shut down really, really quick for the condition it is in. And there's a lot more information on that, too. I might have to do another video because more and more comes out, like the fact that the landlords tried to hire Aurora PD for off-duty security work and they were denied. But let me know if you want me to do more information on that, but that's another story. I've done a few of those videos. So one thing this apartment has, as you can see, is a laundry room. And so, as you know, I've got a couple other multifamily properties. One came with coin-op laundry. That got me started into quarters and coin-op, and then eventually I bought a couple of laundromats. It's been a crazy journey. Well, these are not coin-op. They're just sitting here, as you can see, in a haphazard layout, and I could easily put coin-op in here. And usually coin-op is better for apartments because what you see, what you happen to have with a situation like this is everybody comes to use them if they're free, they break, they don't work right, you have a lot of issues. So not only does it have the coin-op washer and dryer, it's got a workout room. And who doesn't love a good workout room with an elliptical or treadmill and some weights? I don't know what's in that closet. I didn't get any keys. That's another thing. I didn't get any keys. There's no leases, no security deposits. This property just pretty much comes as it is. So we'll show you the bottom part of where that laundry room is too. It's way, way, way scarier in just a second. Here is the one unit that is empty right now. All the rest are occupied. Pretty much everyone pays $500 a month in rent. And how this was set up is the owner of this property, I think, employed... Okay. Fridge might need some work. Ooh, yeah. The owner of this property... I think those are roaches. And I think I just saw one scurry along the fridge. Okay, I'll be careful what I touch from now on. At least I try to be. What was I talking about? So, all the people living here pretty much work for the owner of this building. Not sure if they were farmhands, but in some manner. And he was just deducting their rent from his paychecks. And so we have a plan on how we're going to work with them in this building and talk about that. But we're thinking, farm season is almost over. They may want to leave anyway. I'm not sure. We'll just see. But yeah, this place is rough. And I saw all the units after I got this property under contract. I saw this one unit that was vacant. Then I got under contract. Then I did an inspection. Saw the rest of the units. Didn't ask for anything to be done. I just want to make sure there's nothing too crazy. And they always tell me in these situations, yeah, we're going to show you one unit. It's probably the worst unit in the building. All the rest are way nicer. And almost every time that happens, this is the nicest unit you see, and the rest are way worse. So there are some other units that are worse than this one by far. There might be one or two that are slightly better, just slightly, and they all have people living in them. So it's not really a super safe situation. There might be a, yeah, we'll cross that bridge. Of course, it has a medicine cabinet in the bedroom. That's where those go. And no roaches in there. Well, maybe. It's hard to say. Another unit we also saw roaches all over. I think it might have been the one below this one, actually. So that's a tricky situation because they can go from unit to unit. And one reason to hopefully try and get everything rehabbed and redone, as you can see, just broken glass, broken window pane. But they're pretty decent sized one bedrooms. And we have another property in this town. This is a fourplex, has two one bedroom units, kind of a sort of one-ish, 2-3 bedroom unit. It's a weird one where it's got lots of rooms but not as many windows as it should have. We're renting our one bedrooms for $1,100 a month, and they're upstairs on a pretty gnarly staircase. So I think we should be able to get at least $1,000 a month on these once we rehab them, go through them, make them way, way better, of course. This bathroom, this might sound crazy, is probably one of the nicer ones in the unit. Plenty of spray foam or some kind of foam, to get everything sealed up tight. You've got the sweet toilet's actually not bad, but the sweet shower enclosure with all kinds of different materials down there. And someone told me what those signs were on the wall, and I forgot what it was. You've got the window here, and like an idiot, I'm like, hey, can I stick my finger through there? Let's see. Yes, I can. Managed not to cut myself, so that was smart. But yeah, there you go. There is one of the units. We will be showing the rest of the units as they become vacant, and when we work on them, before and afters on everything. We'll start working on this one when we have some crews available. They're working on some other flips, some other properties right now. But this is going to be a fun project. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy because about the Ocho, the complex, another property that's been pretty crazy, and you think I'm insane for doing this. But it's actually fun for me to take properties like this and make them way better. And even though we encounter some interesting stuff along the way, like an labor card, I don't know why that's there. I don't know if that's was put there recently or what. And you also encounter some interesting stuff like clothes and shoes in your boiler room, and probably a fire at some point. I think that's soot. They tried to wipe off the ceiling, and yes, there was definitely a fire down here at some point. I didn't know that before, and I asked the seller about it, and they said, oh yeah, there's nothing to worry about. We replaced the boiler. So I think the old boiler had caught on fire in this room, and luckily it didn't catch the whole building on fire, because I don't really know how it didn't catch the whole building on fire. But of course, we'll have our electricians come through, check everything out, see how everything is functioning, working, plumbers, all of that. But yeah, the boiler, as you can see, is in fantastic shape. We've got buildings with much older boilers. They can actually last decades and decades and decades if maintained well. Water heaters are pretty decent and good, so that's good to see. The roof is metal, if you didn't see that, which is nice. So it's actually got some good, I don't know what that is. Why is there a drain there and some weird tank? Anyway, it's got some good stuff going for it, but obviously it's got some bad stuff as well. So our plan as of right now is to, well, actually, that's a growth chart. That's a little strange, too. Anyway, our plan is basically we're giving everybody free rent in September and October. Don't pay us rent, stay here for free, and that's kind of like cash for keys to say, hey, in exchange for 2 months of free rent, we're going to start working on the property in November, and it'd be really cool if you were able to move out and find somewhere else to live. I haven't figured out exactly how we're going to word that or say that or make sure we're doing it all legally and everything, but that's our plan for right now. So we told the landlord not to collect rent for September, leave that alone, don't worry about it, and yeah, we need to obviously do some metal work here because it's got some serious issues. And I actually rent to a company that does welding, so we're going to have them come look at it, and yeah, we'll see how this all works. Like I said, a lot of the tenants might be wanting to move anyway, and I think they knew that was a possibility because they don't have leases. They all knew the property was for sale. The landlord's been in contact with them and talked to them, so it's not going to be this huge surprise. We're going to try and give them plenty of time. work with people, and see if we can figure out a solution for everybody. So that's probably one of the worst parts about doing deals like this is we can't go in there and replace kitchens and baths and everything while people are living there. It just doesn't work. And so you have to help people find a new place to live. And when they pay such little rent, that makes it tricky. But at the same time, it makes no sense for us to buy this property, fix it up, make it livable, and charge that much in rent, or we would just lose massive amounts of money. So that's our plan. And something else really interesting about this property, I'm going to find a picture if I can, is someone had mentioned it used to be an old train depot. So I'll overimpose a picture of the train depot. The train depot didn't look nearly this big, though. Maybe it's just the pictures that make it look different, or maybe it's just part of it. Who knows? But that was interesting to read that bit of history. And I am a sucker for historical properties. And yes, now you know I'm reusing the first part of the video because I had more to say. Sorry about that. So our plan is talk to the tenants, figure out a solution to help them out, start working on one unit. As units go vacant, work on those units, get them fixed up, hopefully take care of the pest problem, trying to fix any immediate issues if tenants have, safety or items that are, in really rough shape. We'll try and fix those too while they're still here if we can. And then